In this video, I'm working on the air intake system of my 2013 Mazda 3. I'm going to clean the mass airflow sensor. Make sure you have mass airflow sensor cleaner. It's right there. I'm going to be changing the air filter for a K&N air filter, and I'm going to be replacing the bottom end of my airbox. And this is the real problem here today, is that my airbox is broken. And I went to the scrapyard and I got this one because whenever I'm at a stoplight, my whole airbox just sits and rattles, and it makes a very annoying noise when the engine is at idle. So you can see right there, it's supposed to connect to the front of the vehicle on that rubber bushing up front, and it doesn't do that. So at certain engine speeds, specifically at stoplights, stuff like that, you'll hear this rattle coming from the front end, and it's definitely that. First thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to pull the mass airflow sensor and clean it. Just 2 screws hold it in, and there's obviously the electrical connector as well. So I'll pop that out and I'm going to spray it down while I'm doing everything else. I would suggest every time you change your air filter, if you have some mass airflow sensor on hand, just give your mass airflow sensor a spray down with the cleaner, and that's probably about the right frequency. And I would say you need 1 can of mass airflow sensor, and it should last the life of the vehicle if you're just spraying this down once every couple of years. Now I'm going to pull the whole top of the airbox off, and to do that there's just that 1 mechanical hose clamp, so I'll pry that out, and then there's just the 2 regular clips on the backside, which you need to take off if you're just going to do your air filter. I do need to go a little deeper than the air filter, but if I was just going to change the air filter, I wouldn't have pulled that mechanical hose clamp off. I would just lift it up, and I'll show you how to do that at the end. But here's the old air filter. It's just a cheap paper filter. Nothing to it. It's probably not a Mazda product. And before I pull the bottom of the airbox out, I'm going to take this bracket off, because the thing I don't want to do is manhandle the piece that I got at the scrapyard. By the way, so many Mazda 3s at the scrapyard. The one by my house has 28 different Mazda 3s in the 2010 to 2013 range. This is a 10mm socket. Like I said, I pull this bushing off, and then I'll take the whole hanger off as well. Really all you need for this is 1 screwdriver and 1 10mm socket, and you're good to go. So get this bracket off. Super easy to get that off, and then to get the lower portion of the airbox off, there's 1 piece of ducting. It's this guy right here. Pull that off first. There's a little clip that holds it on the radiator side, and then it just sort of twists off. Super easy. And then everything just comes straight up. There's nothing else holding the airbox in. It is a little bit tight, but it's pretty easy. So there's 2 mounting points, and I'll show you where those clip into in the car. You can see there's 2 rubber grommets, 1 there and 1 there, and those just insert. There's also a tube on the bottom, and it goes through that tube as well. And I'm going to use some white lithium grease on these bushings, give them a little bit of lubrication, just to lube them up. Again, I don't want to break the very old but new to me lower half of the airbox. And I'll put a little lube on the rubber bushings on the car side as well. And inserting the rubber bushing, it is cracked. I do crack the plastic when I put that rubber bushing in, or maybe when I took the old rubber bushing out, but it seems to be structurally sound, even though I put a little crack in the plastic. Now I'll put the mounting bracket on and tighten it down. Again, it's just a 10mm, and it does just flop around in there. Obviously, it's there to buffer out the vibration, and because I didn't have that, my airbox was making awful vibrations all the time. Now I'll put the lower portion of the airbox in. Again, very easy to do. There's just those 2 rubber bushings in the back that it needs to mount up against, and then there's the 1 plastic down tube that also has to line up. Very easy to do. Once it's in place, just take that 10mm and tighten that 1 bracket down. Now we're good to put the top of this thing on. I'm going to link up the top of the airbox with that air hose, and then once it's in place, I'll take the screwdriver and then just tighten up that mechanical hose clamp. Again, very simple. These K&N air filters come pre-oiled, so I don't need to worry about oiling it. To insert it, this is sort of how you would insert the air filter normally. Just slide it into place. It'll drop in and seat itself once you've got it lined up. I don't really show it, but there's 2 protrusions on the front of the top of the airbox, and they line up with 2, I guess, female ends on the bottom of the airbox. And then there's just those 2 clips to hold the top of the airbox down. Last thing I'm going to do here is hook up this mass airflow sensor. Obviously, make sure you hook up the electrical connector, or you're going to have some problems. And then I'll just take those 2 screws and the screwdriver and screw them into place. I have no torque spec on them, and there probably isn't one, although it is Japanese, so they probably do have a torque spec on it. But I go until it's just snug. And now with everything hooked up, I have no more rattles and everything is structurally sound. So now it's time to increase the horsepower of the vehicle here. So probably the first sticker gave me, I would say 5 horsepower, and then this stop, do not throw out the filter, gave me an additional horsepower boost. So I would say just those 2 stickers alone will give me a 10 horsepower boost on this vehicle. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.